悲願。わしゃ反対じゃったが、王たちの決定は覆らん。まったく揃いも揃って甘ちょろいんじゃ。
部会は楽なる。あとは海軍特殊科学班 SSG を信じやしょうや。
In this video, we will go across some predictions for the end of the Egghead Island arc, and the outcome of some of the plot devices that Oda introduced early on in the arc. So, please be sure to smash that like button, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Without further ado, let us begin. Ever since the abolition of the warlord system, the Navy as well as the world government has been heavily reliant on the SSG division. The SSG division consists of the Marks III pacifistas, whose resilience is on a whole different level, as well as Vegapunk's masterpiece the Seraphim. The Seraphim were introduced to be child version Lunarian clones of the initial 7 warlords, with each apparently given code names. So far, we have been given the code names of S-Bear, S-Snake, S-Shark, as well as S-Hawk. The SSG division are obedient to a hierarchy of command, with the 5 elders being at the top of the control hierarchy and the Vegapunks seconding them. Despite the trust that the world government has on the SSG, there have been instances in the story where Oda has clearly shown us that the SSG division does have flaws, which could be exploited by the foes of the Navy and the world government. I believe that Oda did introduce this concept on purpose because one of the Seraphims might facilitate the Straw Hats' escape or at the bare minimum help Bonnie escape. Here is why. Of the current Seraphims introduced in the story, S-Snake has already been shown to disregard her orders due to feelings she developed for Luffy, and these feelings stemmed from Boa Hancock's lineage factor that was used to make her. Of course, many will overlook this by saying that she certainly disobeyed York's orders, but does that mean that she will disobey a Gorosei member's orders? I believe the answer to this question is yes. They do most certainly have feelings, and they might not necessarily agree with most of the orders which they are given. This could lead to an internal conflict at some point. Another issue is the hypothesis that Dr. Vegapunk had on S-Snake's disregard for orders. He said that using the lineage factor could lead to the Seraphims adopting personalities similar to those of the warlords which they were based on. For instance, S-Flamingo could be ruthless and have a god complex similar to Daffy, or S-Bear could have a more reserved personality and be a man of few words. We have seen that this is exactly the case, since S-Snake has not only fallen in love with Luffy, but also has a low opinion of anyone who is not Luffy. Jinbei alluded to this. How then will this help the Straw Hats' escape plans? Well, I believe the Seraphims will be making a comeback. Someone has to free them. Kizaru's priorities were saving York, getting access to the fusion reactor, and eliminating Vegapunk. As for killing Vegapunk, this is looking very unlikely, which is why Saturn had to come by himself in order to kill him. Then there is Jewelry Bonnie, who could also be killed by Saturn, but it is safe to assume that Bartholomew Kuma will save her. That said, even if Kuma saves her, that doesn't mean he will be able to do much afterwards. His mobility will have drastically reduced, as he lost a limb while fighting Sakazuki. He also lost a chunk of his face, which means if he does not get first aid soon, he could possibly die. Then there are Vice Admirals in the Fabirio phase as well as Marks III pacifistas, whom Saturn could order to kill Kuma, so saving Bonnie from Saturn might cost him his life. My suggestion is that, once the Seraphims are free, S-Bear will aid Kuma in saving Bonnie since he was made from Kuma's lineage factor, so he could send Bonnie to a distant island. S-Bear could also send the other Seraphims to different islands of the world, and even send Saturn back to Marijoa. In the meantime, the giant robot could carry the Sunny away from the battleships, and the coupe de burst used to propel the ship away from danger. Even if this does not happen, Oda has left open the door to the possibility of the Seraphims rebelling against the Gorosei and world government at some point. Another point of focus is the presence of the Blackbeard pirates on the island. I do believe that it is looking more likely that the Blackbeard pirates would kidnap York. I was going to say, and by extension Nico Robin, but I don't think that is going to happen. Mind you, kidnapping Nico Robin will make a lot of sense and would be a masterclass from Blackbeard. That said, I just do not see this happening for 2 main reasons. We have already gone through an arc, which had as main goal rescuing Nico Robin, so I do not believe Oda will want us to go through that again. It was also recently revealed that Jaguar D. Sol was still alive and was on Elbaf. Given that Elbaf seems to be the next arc, I believe Oda must want Robin to have her emotional reunion with Sol. Therefore, if Robin cannot be captured, which other alternative do the Blackbeard pirates have? I think kidnapping at least one of the Vegapunks would make a lot of sense, since they will have access to one of the brightest minds in the series. The only issue is that Punk records could be destroyed. And if that is the case, Vegapunk's memories could be lost. I do not believe that Oda is going to let the world government get any of the Vegapunks, which is why I do believe that they will either die on Egghead, or be kidnapped by the Blackbeard pirates. This is of course important for two main reasons. Luffy and Blackbeard have been portrayed to be the faces of the worst generation. So it goes to say that having Luffy and Blackbeard benefit from the Egghead incident will go a long way. I do see Shanks, Luffy, and Blackbeard gaining new bounties after the Egghead incident. With the Blackbeard pirates kidnapping York, the Straw Hat pirates escaping with Stella, Bonnie escaping as well, the five elders' plans would have failed at all levels. Not only will Vegapunk still be alive, but York would have also been kidnapped by Blackbeard. This would mean that it will be impossible for them to get more Mother Flames, as only the Vegapunks know how to make them. This would also mean that the fusion reactor would become useless. Since Punk Records is a collection of Vegapunk's memories, I believe the island will inadvertently be destroyed, so as to mitigate the risk of juicy information, as well as the fusion reactor, from falling into the wrong hands. This could also be a way of getting rid of the ancient robot, once and for all. Since Stella has been carrying out research on the Void Century, destroying Punk Records could cause him to lose his memories. This might be Saturn's rationale. The five elders could be willing to lose Egghead Island in order to protect their dirty little secret. Well, these are the ideas I had in mind. Let me know about yours in the comments section. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I am your host Sean, and this is goodbye.